I mean, yeah, because we need Annie to introduce us.
But first, make sure she's okay, though.
Annie, introduce us. Introduce us, Annie. Because I didn't actually hear what Matt actually said. It just sounded like have Annie introduce us. Or Andy. I don't know.
Andy.
Andy, the guy
No, we
introducing
should
us.
start something that says and introducing, like we're like new Smash Brothers characters coming out.
Oh,
But then-
a
Cloud
challenger
entry battle.
a challenger approaches or something.
Yeah,
And it's like the outline of like Jigglypuff, and you're like, I wonder who that is.
Here
and then it goes. There's just one of us. Like we don't get the outline at all. Just. Ugh.
Yep.
All right, let's do. All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna try. I'll do the. I'll try it out. I'm gonna improv it. I'm not gonna think too far ahead of it. So we'll see how it goes.
No
I know
one-
it's unusual for us to not think this out in advance. But, all right. Hey, this is Chimp Knuckles, Show 18. We're legal now. We're legal. We can.
18 weeks old, completely legal.
No.
But we are a weekly-ish improv comedy performance podcast. And when I say weekly-ish, what I mean is you'll hear this 4 weeks later, on average. I'm Mike Devine. I am the host, and we are coming to you via the magic of Google Hangouts, which allows us to stream this live over the internet to YouTube, and also gives us some neat little tools. So you'll hear a couple sound effects that we might play. You hear a couple nose effects that you might hear a couple times. You hear a couple eye effects that you hear a couple times, and then you'll hear a couple vagina effects that you'll hear a couple times. And those are a little sensitive. We'll deal with those when we get to them.
Actually, though, did they change the new choice bell?
No, it probably just sounds weird on your end, which happens once in a while. Like they do that. Like for some reason, it always sounds fine in the actual recording, but yeah, like whenever I do it, it sounds weird.
Lower.
Yeah, I don't know how that even happens. But
Well, right? It was supposed to be like a doorbell last week, but it just screamed "Hail Satan" to me, and it was like, "Oh, ooh, that's a little different." Hope that sounds normal on the podcast.
If you play the doorbell
Pentagrams appeared on my wrist.
If you play the doorbell backwards, you can open a portal to hell.
Exactly.
Basically, but you need to be playing.
Leb Rubes.
But so that was that sound effect you heard was a part of a game we called New Choice, and that is a game that we play continuously throughout the show, where if somebody says something and then they hear that sound, they have to change the action, change the choice, and then that becomes what it is. So now we explain the rules, how this works. Let's meet the players. First off, we have Ed Foose. Ed is a homemaker from Saskatchewan, and he enjoys long walks on the beach and clam digging. Ed, tell us about yourself.
Well, I mean, I do love digging for clams. See, I think that, most people are all bottled up, like, inside their own shell, and myself included, I really feel very introverted all the time, and that I really just can't, go out there and express myself as I'd like to. So I find that digging for clams is a good relaxation because, I find things that too are bottled up and in their own shell, and then I get to pulverize that shell, and then it feels like I'm pulverizing myself. And generally on the beach, there are other people there, but no one wants to talk to me because, I'm just beating the shit out of a bunch of clams. So one of these.
That's lovely, and I'm going to stop you there before you frighten away our audience.
Well,
Good to have you here.
I will meet someone eventually who also likes beating the shit out of clams, but until then, I'm content.
All right, let's move on to our next guest on the show here tonight, Matt Leese, aka Strumba. Matt Leese is a professional clam puncher who has 6 world heavyweight championships under his belt. Matt, tell us a little something about yourself there.
Yes, when I'm not only punching clams, I also enjoy long walks on the clam and beach digging. A little different from the previous contestant. And it's an interesting lifestyle. I've never gotten paid for it, but I still think that there's something there, and I can't wait to continue my career further.
It's always good to do what you love. Good luck to you. This game is a game for all. This show is a contest for everyone. I'm running out of ideas for this little gimmick here, but. That worked well enough. That was a good enough intro. I kind of like that it was like a little bit like dating game. I like that.
It was exactly like
It
dating
was basically
game.
dating game. It was the best parts of dating game without having to run through awkward answers from dating game.
Oof.
Pistachio ice cream, and I like wheels.
I'm a pun. We are a pun.
On fire. So so there was a big old event that happened at our school called Improvimonium, where basically improv groups from different schools around the area would come, and perform. Everyone in the show has been to Improvimonium before, and our sophomore year, the first group that went up, they'd play the dating game, and the one contestant had to guess who all the three people were, left the room, and one of the people's things was that they were on fire. And then the contestant came back and asked the first question, like, "Hey, like, where's the ideal place to take me on a date?" And the first person's response was, "Ah, I'm burning!" The subtlety is not key in this.
No. Subtlety hurts in that game. It can only hurt you. It can only set you back.
And I think that was also the game where someone had like three heads, and their response was just to like run around the stage. Like, okay.
You got to work the stage. You got to have good stage work.
Yeah, you need to. I mean, if you have the whole area, you may as well use it.
You might as well just throw yourself off the stage and
It's on my phone. It's on my old phone, so I can't pull it up. But there was a great text message conversation I had with someone else in the audience during, this horrendous game. I don't know what it's called, but we've just referred to it as the Sea Otters game.
Oh my God!
Yeah, have I told this on Chimp Knuckles before?
No.
Okay, so there's this group that we kind of had a rivalry with in school, and they played this game where it's like, okay, we need a suggestion for an animal, and they got the suggestion sea otters, which in hindsight was probably a plant because the game would not have worked with any other animal. And anytime in the scene someone said the word sea, the audience was supposed to reply otters. So it's like, and we will see otters. What we can see otters. We will take a boat to the sea otters.
Sounds like it's something
ABC
like you play with
otters.
preschoolers, like
Basically. And this game went on for what felt like 15 minutes.
I think it was about 17 minutes. Yeah.
Was it actually?
oh my god.
I think so.
And like one person would get up there and talk for like 5 minutes and just like give like a sermon, essentially, and then like tag team out, and then another person went up and talked for like 5 minutes. And I was getting these text messages from my friend who was like, "Oh my God, help me, save me, I want to leave." And we were just like giving encouraging like you can make it through messages, and like I believe in you, and like you have the strength, and we were just like going back and forth trying to keep each other distracted until the next thing happened.
Most of us may have walked out at that point, I think.
Who
Like
did?
in the middle of it. I'm pretty sure.
A lot of people who walked out.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be
You may-
surprised.
Yeah. I know, I think
It's been very hit and miss over the years. There have been times when it's been great, and times when it's been awful, and times when it's been both.
I forget if our group had gone by that point, because I don't know why else she would have
No,
stayed.
that was the last group. That was
Was it?
yes.
Okay, I don't. I just remember that incident and chose to forget the rest of it. Outside of that was also the night of Saswall, but anyway.
Oh, yeah.
My Saswall! I stacked my chairs up in your yard in front of my Saswall. Get off of my boat! Which in hindsight is just like, at the time I think it was like, I don't know if I really like this, but I think like if a recording of that existed and like it was like tweaked a little bit, it could be like gold.
I don't know. That was also.
It was the same group, but it made like just enough sense to the point where it's like, okay, just the absurdity of this situation is really funny, but that's really about it.
So yeah.
All right, so let's jump on into our first game here. We've got a game we call Try That On for Size. Try That On for Size
Right.
is a game for two players, for both of our players, Ed and Matt, and they are going to be competing against one another. the way this game works is we are going to get a sound effect, or sorry, we're going to get an action, and the players are going to alternate making the sound of that action. So if I come up with an action that says you are flying a kite, then Ed will come up with a sound effect and say, I'm flying a kite, try that on for size. And then Matt will have to come up with a
flying
similar...
kite. Yeah.
Good job, guys.
We both
Well
scared each other
done.
silent. All right, do your example again. I'll cut that in.
I'm flying a kite. Try that on for size.
I'm a bird. Try that on for size.
I'm a car wash. Try that on for size.
And so on until someone cannot come up with an action or repeats the same sound effect, etc. And then we will see who's the better who is the better at trying these on for sizes is what we're going to find out here. So, Ed is going to start us off with our first action. Your first action is writing with a pen.
I'm writing with a pen. Try that on for size.
I'm trying to scan my card on the spaceship. It's not working. Try that on for size.
I'm listening to the earth for vibrations. Try that on for size.
I'm laying down the bass track for my rap beat. Try that on for size.
I'm a washing machine. Almost done with its cycle. Try that on for size.
I'm punching someone in the gut 3 times in quick succession. Try that on for size.
There's 3 squirrels just fell off some trees. Try that on for size.
That is not the sound that squirrels make when they fall off trees. Matt gets that one.
Baritone squirrels.
Baritone squirrels. All right, Matt is going to start us off now. Your suggestion for an action is you are plugging something into a USB port.
I'm plugging something into a USB port. Try that on for size.
I'm cocking my gun. Try that on for size.
I'm making a little snip with scissors on this fabric. Try that on for size.
I'm turning on a lighter. Try that on for size.
I'm trying to open this safe slowly so no one comes and finds me. Try that on for size.
I have very cute sneezes. Try that on for size.
I'm clicking my pen on in and out obnoxiously at the staff meeting.
2 very tiny leaks sprung and then patched themselves. Try that on for size.
I'm a librarian harshly hushing some students in the library. Try that on for size.
What's missing? You are from church. Try that on for size.
No. Mac is that one as well. All right, Ed, this one is you. Your action is getting electrocuted.
Oh, God.
I'm getting electrocuted. Try that on for size.
Yeah, come on up. I'm in my apartment. Try that on for size.
I'm a racing bee. Try that on for size.
I can't get this chainsaw to start. Try that on for size.
I'll allow it. I'll allow that.
Nope.
To be
All right.
fair, I really thought I was going to be called out for mine. So.
Points for desperation.
Here, give us like something crazy and wild, and let's go with that.
All right, we'll do one more. Is
It's like pen, USB socket.
Matt.
I wonder what's around Mike's desk.
not that. Matt, you are turning into Godzilla.
I'm turning into Godzilla. Try that for size.
I need to calm my chimpanzee down. Try that for size.
Wow, that is a horrifying baby, ma'am. I'm sorry. Try that for size.
Or I'm summoning Satan in my apartment. Try that for size.
I really should oil that door. Try that for size.
Russian's a very strange language to learn. Try that for size.
Yeah, paper cuts are nasty. Try that for size.
I'm trying to sing opera, but I'm just getting over strep throat. Try that for size.
I'm Wilhelm before his scream became super famous.
I am witnessing sheep sodomy. Try that for size.
Zombie chicken uprising. Try that for size.
I am using a prefabricated trachea. 3D printing all the way, man. Try that for size.
The rooster did not successfully wake up the farmer. Try that on precise.
Asthma sucks. Trying to precise.
No, I'm calling it. I'm out.
I'm surprised neither of you went with the obvious one. I'm disemboweling Scooby-Doo.
Ooh, that's.
Raggy!
Zoinks!
Good.
Zoinks, Scoob! Your entrails are on the floor!
That'd be a great, like. I want to do that Scooby-Doo spinoff where just things get absolutely, like, abysmally violent. Like, instead of a ghost or, like, just some creepy dude, they, like, actually run into, like, a dangerous psychopath.
Like, cuts off Scooby's ears and, like, wears them.
Yeah, and, like.
Wow.
Hmm.
That was dark.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, "Oh man, like, I think Fred would be the first to die in that scenario, and then maybe
Not Dad?
Velma would live and become the badass. Like, that's just...
Yeah, she'd grow like a 5 o'clock shadow and, like, have, like, an eye patch.
oh yeah, Velma would be like the last one there.
Yeah.
Well, Velma and Shaggy, I'd say,
Yeah.
and then like,
Scooby would die in a way that would just make you cry for, like, the next 3 days. It's like the end of, like... Or it's like that scene in, I Am Legend. It's like, oh, no.
Oh. Spoiler.
Yeah, sorry, friend who
Spoiler,
hasn't
he's
seen the
not
classic
Legend.
2006 movie, 2007 movie, I Am Legend.
That movie was so much better in the non-theatrical version. When the director wasn't such a pussy and changed it, it would have been much better.
Yeah.
was it? Or did the studio say like, nope, we're not going to release it this way because people are stupid?
The ending
Probably.
tested poorly. People were bitches about it. It's honestly a lot better with the original ending intact. I have it on DVD, and it's a lot better. Like the full version. It's way better. It's a much better movie. I don't understand.
No, that was the version in theaters, the original version.
No, the original version, or the version in theaters was the version where he sacrifices himself with a grenade to save the day. In the original version, he realizes that he's the bad guy, he's the monster, and he just returns the woman that he was quote unquote curing. He returns her to the leader of the zombie people because that's all we wanted in the first place. He stole his wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah,
And
okay.
then they left him alone, and then they just walked out and left.
Yeah,
Because,
right.
yeah, like that's way more true to the source material. And, yeah, like, I don't know. That's just my rant. I liked it way better. I don't know. I thought yeah. Yeah.
There was so you know how Adult Swim in the last 8 years have become obsessed with this like hyper violence movement. What
Yeah.
with
No, wait, what?
Metalocalypse and Super Jail, stuff like that. There's a show that came out that I watched like 2 episodes of called Mr. Pickles. And it's
Yeah.
have you seen it?
It's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. It's about a dog who's actually Satan, but like, whatever. It's just really violent, excessively so.
Mr. Pickles.
That's kind of what that Scooby-Doo thing was reminding me of. Was like, oh yeah, it's reminding me of like those Mr. Pickles episodes I watched that I wish I didn't. Just kidding. It's not that bad. It's just kind of like, okay, well, it's fine.
It's just silly.
Yeah, there's that kid's bones. Got him.
Boom! Aha, got him.
Let's go on over to our next game. Next game is a game we call Audiobook.
Cool. I'm gonna run it.
All right, Matt's gonna run it.
I like running it. All right, so this is audiobook. The way this works is our two members,
Whatever.
Chip, Knuckles, and Ed, or Mike and Ed, will be given certain traits, and they are going to retell a famous story using those traits. And whenever I make this noise, that one.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Whenever I make that noise, it switches between the two characters who's telling the story. So that being said, let me find a famous tale. Oh, you know what? We're gonna do Of Mice and Men. We'll do Of Mice and Men. Because that's everyone
That
loves.
one I know.
It's never. I think the only time we've done something I had any remote clue what it was Noah's Ark.
Wait, have you never read Of Mice and Men, Ed?
No. Who
Did you not go to high school? Oh, that's right. You're a product of the Jackson, Mississippi high school system.
I went to Fulton, Indiana.
Oh,
Mice and Men is like a required reading in like 40 states.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We read
Anyway,
like Shakespeare and like Raised in the Sun and like Kill a Mockingbird. Oh no, one class read Mice and Men, and the other class read To Kill a Mockingbird, and I was in the Mockingbird
oh,
class.
yeah, I read both. I mean, I read
That's
those
what it
in
was.
different grades.
Yeah.
Um, okay, just because I want to try it with a story you both know, do you both remember To Kill a Mockingbird
Yeah.
enough? We'll do that one this week, and then if we have someone, we'll put Advice Man on hold just because, whatever. Everyone cool with that?
As long as this
Sure.
part gets cut out.
As long as the part where we're planning it doesn't make it into the final broadcast, that's fine.
Yeah, well, more one, yeah, whatever. Whatever. So we're gonna do. Yeah, just cut this out. Okay. Well, yeah. So their famous story, which I've so seamlessly said without any hindrances, is To Kill a Mockingbird. Yay! Now there are two character traits. Um, let's see here. Um, Mike is in an interview, and Ed is concerned that people are going to find the small people that live under his hat.
Okay.
All right.
This is so much better than mine.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Mike. Actually, I always give you kind of the realistic one.
That's fine. I know what it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'll keep that in mind for next time. I'm sorry, Mike, but for this time, you're an interview. Take that how you will. You can, do any sort of interview you want, obviously. And yeah. So, To Kill a Mockingbird, Mike's an interview. Ed is constantly concerned people are going to find the small people that live under his hat. So, players, this is the game of audiobook. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we'll begin with Ed this time.
All right, so once upon a time, there's a guy named Atticus Finch, and sorry, he was very, he's like a lawyer, and he was very concerned about. So there's this guy who got his hand stuck in like a cotton gin, and his arm couldn't work, and so but he was being like come on.
Well, sir, the reason I believe I'm qualified to live in this young man's hat is because I'm a go-getter. I'm reminded of the classic story of To Kill a Mockingbird, which begins with a little girl shooting a dog in the face with her dad's gun, because he was racist. The dog said the N-word, and as you know, that is very very relevant to the job of hat wrangling, because when you're living inside someone else's hat, you got to understand their fears and their dreams and their hopes.
But yes, but I'm sorry. I've been having really loud thoughts recently, and so sometimes those seep out. But anyway. So what happened is, yeah. So there's this guy named Boo Radley who lives down the shut up, no, shut up. Who lives down the road, and no one has ever seen him because he's like a complete social recluse, and then Scout, the little girl, is like learning about race relations.
So now I'm like that little girl. See, I'm just crawling around in people's heads when they're not looking, and just messing with them and making them wish they didn't talk to people, because I'm like a ninja. I'm like a little tiny hat ninja, and so I'm overqualified, because they once threw me in jail because they thought I killed a girl, and I did not. But I was so small they couldn't tell the difference, so they threw me in jail, and then what I did is I snuck right out under a guard's hat, because that's what I do. I'm a hat smuggler. So I am eminently qualified for this position.
I'm sorry, my hair is being really loud today. I promised I was going to get it cut, but I showed up late to my appointment, and they had left already. So I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow, and then my hair won't be as loud. I apologize, and it is definitely my hair that's telling this inaccurate story about To Kill a Mockingbird, because in To Kill a Mockingbird, this man is you know he is accused of murdering someone, and the all-white jury, and I think it's Alabama, is like, no, man, he did it because racism and stuff. And then Atticus Finch is like, nope, but don't read the prequel because then he's like a plan or something.
And so the key is to make the person think that it's their hair, not the little people in their hat. They don't want to think that the little people in their hat is real. So it's just like racism in Alabama. You gotta misdirect into a different source, make them think it was somebody who didn't do it. That's what you gotta do. You gotta frame them. It's a lynch mob, if you will, and that's the key to success in the hat wrangling world. If you want to be, like how I got progressively more cowboys as that went on.
Oh, That was good, actually. I
best,
like that dynamic of
the
like,
best kind of cowboy is a progressive cowboy.
and my favorite part of Killing Mockingbird is when the dog screams the N-word. You're right.
Like, can you just imagine a movie starting off just,
Ruby Rick.
just getting
Oh God. Oh. I am a dog getting shot because I'm racist. Try that on for size.
Isn't that how Mr. Pickle starts or something?
Mr. Pickles, it's good boy.
Yeah. That was good, guys. I like the interconnecting them. That worked well.
Yeah.
I know it did.
I know.
I know.
So as a pause, because we didn't have this conversation before, what is even Of Mice and Men about? I don't even know.
Of Mice and Men is about George and Lenny. They're basically two people who kind of travel between jobs because they can't hold them down because Lenny is
Retarded.
he's a big simple retarded guy basically. He's very large. He's very strong and he's very kind, but he doesn't know his own strength. And then George is kind of like the mastermind of the group. You know, the two of them. He's like, like I'm the smart one. Like, no, I'm gonna tell you what to do. You're gonna listen to me. And then they go and they work on it's a farm, right? They go and work at a
Yeah, and it's the
Is
depression
is
too.
is that where which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? Is that where
Kinda. Well,
yeah. Well,
Looney
that
Tunes
dynamic
makes fun
was
of that.
based off of that book, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you see like the big dummy and the smaller like wise guy boss of the big dummy, it's a dynamic based off of Mice and Men.
And basically, what
I,
happened?
I
Yeah.
know a lot because I know a lot of people were like claim that like Pinky and the Brain was based off of that, but like it actually was like wasn't it based? I heard it was based on like the staff. Like there were two members of the staff that always like get into arguments and stuff.
It could probably be both. I'm sure it could be
Either
both.
show up. Either like on the
Because that's such a trope at this point that I could see it being taking elements of both.
Of Mice and Men is actually a good book. I thought one of the better ones
Yeah.
we read.
Yeah.
And To Kill a Mockingbird is too. So
Lord of the Flies.
I
Lord of the Flies
love Lord of the
sucks.
Flies.
Kids fucking died in that book, man. That's awesome.
Ed, you hate Lord of the Flies, right?
Yes, and
Yeah,
I
okay.
can. This probably isn't like good for Chimp Knuckles, but I can explain in many ways why Lord of
You've
the Flies
explained it to
is
me.
not.
Well, have you ever
good.
seen the Simpsons episode about where they basically reenact Lord of the Flies?
It's probably hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. It's the one where they're on the bus and they're racing fruit. They put they put fruit down and let it roll down the bus, and like
Yes.
Bart is like, "Go apple," and then Nelson's like, "Go orange," and then Ralph just goes like, "Go banana," and just drops a banana. And then the orange rolls underneath Otto's brake, and then when he goes to press the brake, it squirts him in the eye, and that's what makes him crash. And then they end up on like the desert island or whatever.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fucking great.
The thing is,
My cat's breath smells like
everyone's just like obsessed with that book, and it's
Oh no, I'm not obsessed. I do think it is a good book though. It's dark.
like so much.
bit my Wookiee.
So much could be better with it than it just annoys me so much, and then everyone's like, "It's genius," and like, "You don't like it because it's violent." It's like, no, I don't like it because it's not violent enough, and like it's not. It's
be
not
fair,
even
I
like
think-
remotely like it's too concerned with like being a political statement than it is about like, hey, let's actually tell a good story.
Yes, no, I agree with you there, but like the ending's like obnoxious and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was like, oh, by the way, they're all saved, and oh, by the way, it's like instead of like, instead of like, starting this like, what actually would happen where it's just complete chaos. It's like, let's set up a government. Okay. Gee, government sucks. Like, shut up.
Let's throw that one kid off a cliff. All right.
It's like, shouldn't they be throwing everyone off a cliff? Like, if it's just a bunch of like young boys just randomly in the Pacific Ocean, why are they there? Don't worry about it. That was also the year. I don't know if I've said this on Chip Knuckles or not. That was also the year my 11th grade English teacher was obsessed with butt sex.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, every single book we read contained butt sex in some way, and every time it would never be like, oh, and let's like. It was never the butt sex was never glazed over. It was always just it was always just like, now let's talk for like 3 days, and we're gonna have to write a paper about butt sex. I wrote so many papers about fucking butt
Did you
sex.
read like The Kite Runner that year? Because that's really disturbing if you did.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, Kite Runner, which okay, is a major plot point. Okay, that's whatever. But that was also Lord of the Flies, which when they like stick like when they like hunt the pig, which by the way is how you kill a pig, you stab the pig. It's like this is actually like butt sex. Let's talk about butt sex. And there was like we read
Who's
Dante's
having butt sex?
Inferno. We did Dante's Inferno, which like contains like a lot of like weird like promiscuous stuff. And it's like where would butt sex fit into this?
Just shoehorn it into the conversation.
It's like
Squeeze it in there, if you will.
We also read A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich, which is about like, Soviet labor camps, and like there's a lot of like sexual tension in here. Sexual tension that would lead to like butt sex. Because
And I
This
don't.
is a
And
great
I think you've
sketch.
got like a School of Rock situation going on where that wasn't really the teacher that whole time.
Yeah, it's just fucking
it would make so much more sense.
He's just long conning the school district. Dude, you've written a sketch right there. That's a sketch.
Oh, what,
There you
what
go.
else do we, what else do we, I think we read Albert Camus' The Stranger, which I forget how that was worked into, but I
The
remember it
stranger
was
came up to you and asked you for butt sex.
no, because like the main character has like a girlfriend or something, and it's like so the different ways that they're intimate, like butt sex. It's like, really? Isn't this about like, like existentialism or something? It's like, well, but in order to get to that,
The secret to existentialism is messing around with butt stuff.
This
So,
is
you
a,
know.
this is a brilliant sketch idea right here. Brilliant.
what else we did? We did Canterbury Tales that year, and we did Chronicle of the Death Foretold, which is a book that makes no sense. Um, but I'm told there was booty stuff in it. Uh,
By that one teacher, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like, but by that was the last book we had read, and by that point I'd long checked out and was more concerned about how can I make this teacher's life a complete living hell. Um, so yeah, that's my little tangent about 11th grade English and how just what a wonderful ride it is. It was. Uh,
Fantastic.
I know she's never going to, but I really hope that my 11th grade English teacher hears this.
I think my best memory of English class was, I think it was ninth grade English. One of our friends who, back then, this was before the R word was a thing, and you could just say retarded. Like, no one gave a shit. So people, they threw it around when we were kids in, like, ninth grade. So one of our friends, we would always just make fun of, just call him retarded. Just, no real reason. It was just like, we decided that was his shtick. So, like, that was the way we ripped on him. Just I was ripped on for being half Jewish, all that stuff. His was being retarded. So one day, the teacher's assistant gets a phone call during like reading or whatever, and he just like hangs up the phone, and he knows he has to say it, but you can tell like he's like, I'm about to make this kid's life hell. He goes, Richard, the special ed office just called. You want you down there? As you could imagine, there was much rejoicing.
It's like they get this, like the special ed department wants you, and then everyone just starts cheering, and like confetti falls from the ceiling, and like
Balloons just fall.
this choir starts singing like Handel's Alleluia chorus. It's just
And Richard just like saunters off and just like with like a cloud over his head, like my life is over.
and then you never saw him again.
And you never saw him again. They wanted to see him because he was about to become brain dead.
No.
No. Okay, let's go on to our next game.
Anyway,
On that note, dead kid. Let's go on to our next. Speaking of dead and dying kids, let's go on to our next game of Dr. Junior. When we last met Dr. Junior, he was sitting in jail, convicted of several heinous crimes, and he's actually sitting on death row now. And we're gonna go and we're gonna visit Dr. Junior on death row. Dr. Junior, as you may know, is the son of our venerable guest, Dr. Know-It-All. Dr. Know-It-All has 3 heads, and each speaks one word at a time. Dr. Junior has 2. It's a rare birth defect amongst the Know-It-All clan, and he's been ostracized for it. So we're going to go visit Dr. Junior in prison. So we've got him on the other side of the prison glass here. Dr. Junior, thank you so much for visiting, for taking time out of your busy countdown to death.
Hello.
How
Are
you
doing?
sir?
Well, I'm doing fine. I'm about to go home and sleep in my own bed and have sex with my wife. How are you doing?
Pretty
Damn,
good.
considering.
I'm
About
2.
die.
Well, that's really unfortunate. I can see that you've got the pre-death stutter that so many other death row inmates have succumbed to over the years. Have they told you how they're going to do it yet?
Electrocution,
By
hanging,
and
lethal
nipples,
injections.
sir.
Wow, that's they must be really getting desperate in the South for execution methods, huh? They can't just hit you with a hammer or something, or so that's
Nipple
real.
Injections.
are
Humane.
and
Honestly,
better
than
arousing.
game.
Well, I'd imagine that arousing games wouldn't be as fun as nipple play, I guess. I actually had an English teacher once who was really into butt stuff. Have they discussed a butt stuff based execution method with you at all?
Anal,
Is it
a
viable
injection.
area?
Penal,
Injections.
also
Though
work.
and
Nipple
injections
are
perfect.
You really seem to be hung up on the nipples, huh? Okay. Well, Dr. Know-It-All, I'm glad that you found your perfect way to die. Do you have any ideas of what your last meal is going to be?
pastries,
And
lots, lots.
of
See,
cucumbers
marinated
in
cream
sauce,
of
lamb chops.
So, okay. Sea cucumbers marinated in lamb chops with yeah, okay. That's about what I would expect. Okay. Well, Dr. Junior, thank you for for using your conjugal visit hours here today, and we'll see you in the chair.
thank
You
for
listening,
to
my
story.
sir,
You
have
given
us
so
much
pleasure.
and
Fondle
memories
with
myself
Well,
and
that
nipple
talk
made
my
day.
worthwhile.
well, I'm glad that I could assist in your fondle play, Dr. Junior. Thank you again. I'm real glad we're
You,
killing him off soon.
you called us Dr. Know-It-All, and I really wanted it to work. We could just say Dr. Know-It-All was my father, please. Also, yeah, whatever.
Dr. Junior, wimp to the finish line.
My least favorite death method, electrocution by hanging.
With nipple injections.
Nipple injections.
Now, would that be injecting into the nipple or injecting you with nipples?
Ooh, I hope. Ooh.
Both would give me fondle memories.
Injecting me into the nipple with nipples. Wow.
That is surprisingly so much harder with only 2 people versus 3.
You'd think it'd be easier.
It's
No.
not.
No.
Oh well.
Wah, wah.
Now the world don't move to be just one drum.
I love that was not even close to the beat. You're just like slapping hands. Yay!
You're like
Yeah.
Bulby from Jimmy Neutron. Remember Bulby? Slap, 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 clap, 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 slap, slap, slap.
I was like just at the age at like the age limit where I was I was too old for Jimmy Neutron when it came out, but like all my younger siblings liked it, and like all of their friends liked it, and it was like the first show that really made me think like I'm too old for kids stuff.
Really?
Like that and like Fairly Odd Parents. Although that was fair,
Oh.
that wasn't quite.
Both had so much adult humor in it.
I know, but like it made me realize like I'm not the target audience anymore.
Yeah.
Not quite the target audience anymore. But yeah, I mean all the best kids shows have like something for the parents to watch. Like
Oh yeah.
that's why Pixar's awesome. And like why the old Nicktoons were great because now as
Yeah.
adults we go back and watch that shit and we're like, oh my god, oh my yes.
I just hope one day Pixar breaks out of sequel land, or else they're just gonna fall into whatever other studio fell into again.
I'm fine with it as long as they keep making good movies. I could care less if they turn them into franchises or just standalone movies. Like either way,
Yeah.
as long as the movies don't suck, I'm fine.
He says after they, release 2 original movies in a year, but whatever.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point.
But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like the next one is Finding
Well,
Dory.
weirdly enough, this is gonna sound. I'm actually like not excited for The Incredibles 2
What?
because
because because it's so good. Like it ended. Like I just don't.
No, think
They've always been so good. The issue is like they had that meeting, right? With like, oh, like here's all our
Yeah.
ideas, and then like Wally was the last one,
right.
and
well,
ever since then they've been either whatever up and down. Again, I'm not gonna be like, they're terrible. It's just like,
well, yeah, you're unsure, and it's like the same thing with me with Toy Story 2, because like that was their first sequel, and it was like, oh no, this is the moment where they become like every other studio, but it was better than the original.
people consider that one to be the best of the series.
I was surprised, like I was shocked. I was so stunned that it was better than the original because
Yeah.
Toy Story was a fucking classic. I loved it when it came
Oh, yeah.
out. Like I saw it
haven't
so
actually-
many times, and Jesus,
I haven't actually seen Toy Story 2 in forever.
yeah.
Neither have I. I haven't seen it since I was like 8, maybe.
Yeah, well, because like the first one I watched so much, like it's been just so ingrained into me because like I watched
Yep.
that. I don't think that VHS tape works anymore just because I just wore it out. And then the third one, I saw it when it came out. I think I've seen it since then. Where it's mainly like it basically is like The Great Escape with Steve McQueen. Like I just kept waiting for Steve McQueen to like get on a motorcycle and just ride throughout France or something just at the end of it. That did not happen, but
Sadly,
alas.
but
I
yeah,
think
I mean,
that'd be a good mashup. I'm sure it's been made already, where it's like, a World War II prison movie combined with, just toys in a daycare.
Have you guys seen the very, very terrible but admittedly hilarious, if you can laugh at this kind of stuff, GIF made, where basically it's from Toy Story 1 where Buzz is holding onto Woody, flying over the truck, and Woody goes, Buzz, we missed the truck. And he goes, we're not aiming for the truck. And then it's the
Oh.
9/11 thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a whole
You
subreddit
laugh.
called "I'm Going to Hell for This,"
Yeah.
where you'll find stuff like that. Whole lot.
Oh, God. And now that we've talked about Pixar, here's a game called Sex Position.
Now that we've brought back up memories of your childhood, let's bring back the parts of your childhood that you don't want to remember. Like walking in on your parents practicing their favorite sex position.
Okay, that went way less dark than I thought it was
No.
gonna.
Wow,
That's just like sits up in his chair and is like, no.
Not today.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's coming back. The doors are opening.
Have you guys seen Spotlight yet? The movie about the Boston Globe writers, like newspaper writers.
Nope.
It's got like Mark Ruffalo, and it's very good. I highly suggest it. That's just there's no joke here. It's just really good. It's about the basically the Catholic sex scandal in Boston that happened, and then the Boston Globe writers in the Spotlight series for the newspaper who basically brought up the story after 25 years and did a lot more research and kind of it's good. It's really good if you like newspaper writing.
And I sure do.
Did it just come out? Like, is it on like
Yeah.
VOD? Like, was it like a limited VOD thing, or is it like?
No, it's actually I think it's pretty wide release.
Hmm.
I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, it did only couple out. It did only come out like a few weeks ago, like a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
whatever.
I
So
haven't heard of it, but I'm looking at
it's
it now.
super good. Like it's got Michael Keaton, and so yay.
I don't know. My buddy works
I'm
at a tech
in.
camp over the summer, or used to, and one of the kids was Mark Ruffalo's kid.
Hmm.
And he met him once or twice. He's a really chill, down-to-earth dude.
It's very nice. Does a
Yeah.
very good job in this movie. So yeah.
Yay!
All right, let's let's move on to our last game. Some ending games here. Sex positions.
Is that 5?
It was either 4 or 5.
Yeah.
We're on a little late.
Okay, whatever.
Well, keep it brief. Keep it simple.
Okay.
So, Sex Positions is a game where we are going to take turns and sounds like I'm describing a sex position. We're going to take turns. Describing the name of a sex position. One of us is going to describe that sex position, and then the other people are going to go in order and define what that sex position is, how it's done. We're going to go in order. Everyone's going to come up with one and then state theirs. We're going to do this 3 times. And Ed, why don't you start us off?
All
Oh,
right.
good.
I want to know what Chin's crispy bean blended tofu is.
Wow.
Chin's crispy bean blended tofu. Not
Chin's
only
crispy
is it a
bean
mouthful
blended
to say, but it's when over the course of a night you try out so many positions that you're not sure what fluids you're covered in anymore by the end of the night.
Wow. All right. Well, that's interesting. But Chin's crispy bean blended. Whoa, fuck! I did too. Shit. Chin's crispy bean. Wow. Hang on. Does anyone else smell toast? Chin's crispy bean blended taco. Wait, was it taco?
Tofu.
Tofu. Oh, good. I don't think I can repeat the taco one on the air. But if it's only the tofu variant, that's fine. What you do is you eat out the girl and until your chin gets just covered in goo, and then you have her poop on your chest, and it just becomes like a tofu. It mixes together and it gets real gross. I don't know.
Good. No,
I've been watching The Leftovers, so pooping on chest is on my mind.
I've heard it's a great show. I haven't watched it yet.
It gets better in the second season.
Well, I've
Yeah,
heard
when
it's
people
good.
start pooping on each other. That's when it gets good.
Anywho.
Just scrub through the episodes to find when someone poops. It's like, all right. Well, the Chin's crispy bean blended tofu is for people who for the oral variety. But if the person's vegan or vegetarian and doesn't want any type of meat in their mouth, then they have tofu instead. But you need to make sure that it's ultra crispy, and so. So while the person's eating the tofu, you're just masturbating in the corner, and then whenever it gets ready and you're ready to nut, aka bean, you just yank the tofu out and then replace it.
Someday we're gonna have some creep like writing all this down. Like, yeah. What else? Yeah.
Informative.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Ugh.
It's just your English teacher, just like, so
I
when are they gonna get to the butt stuff?
I did well teaching him.
Yes.
He understands now.
The student has surpassed the master.
Cool. Well, now with my infinite want to kind of like mess with people and take people off, please all tell me about the horse race North Face.
All right. Well, the horse race North Face is where you sneak into a horse stable right before a big race, and you find a female jockey and just mount her, but she's got to be facing north. Otherwise, it's a completely different position.
The North Face horse race. North Face horse race.
Backwards, but okay.
Whatever.
It's like
is-
reverse cowgirl.
is whenever you find someone who is thinks they're really outdoorsy, but they're not, so they wear a lot of like North Face clothes, and then you find these people, and you make them run as far, like put them in like a 3-mile race, and whoever wins the race, you then marry immediately and live a long, happy life together, and you have a honeymoon at Churchill Downs.
You stole that right out of Hunger Games.
All right, cute. But actually, the horse race North Face is when you are the most attractive person in the game of polo, and you turn to your friend and you start placing bets on who you think is going to sleep with you first. And the add-on is that whoever chooses you, or you sleep with them. Behind you have an announcer who talks very fast, and you give the girl a ridiculous name. So the announcer just has to keep screaming very fast and this ridiculous name out until whoever finishes first.
And it's elevator Down syndrome around the bend.
Wait, is that actually a thing in Hunger Games? I just made that up.
No.
Okay.
The famous marriage in Churchill Downs in the Hunger Games.
I have no idea.
All right.
Have you guys seen that video of the horse named Arg?
No.
No. Okay, I'll show that later. That's just it's good.
All right. I want you guys to tell me about the Venezuelan pregnancy.
The Venezuelan pregnancy is when you get back from vacation and then you get like at least 25 messages from people claiming to be pregnant with your child, and then you have to go on a super awesome detective hunt to find out how many of them are telling the truth. But what actually happened is you had a crazy night one night in Venezuela with 25 separate partners, and you hit the jackpot. All 25 became impregnated. So, oops, sorry.
Oops.
Worth it? Was it? I don't know. No.
Really, the Venezuelan pregnancy is much more an introspective position. It's about realizing that you should have knocked up that very hot Venezuelan girl you met in college instead of sitting around with your bland wife playing Sudoku with each other and not talking.
In college,
All right. Ed, you were close. What the Venezuelan pregnancy is when you have a whole lot of Latin American food, like a whole lot, enough to gain several pounds, like competitive eating Latino food. And then you have sex with your wife, and you're trying really hard not to poop. And you got to just, finish before you poop yourself. You got to hold it in.
And English teacher's like clapping silently somewhere, like a tear rolling down their cheek.
Standing ovation. Butt stuff. They got to the butt stuff.
Just doing like a victory lap around the
And you just start screaming, and confetti rains down in balloons, and then Richard goes to the special education office, and and you never see him again.
Yeah, get out of here, Richard.
Get out of here, Richard. Okay. All right. Well, let's do the ending. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was Chimp Knuckles Show 18, the legal edition. You can find us all on the podcast apps and on the websites. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Tumblr, we're on Pinterest, we're on SoundCloud, we're on Google Plus, we're on all of them. iTunes. we're on all your favorite iPads. We're on Android. All the things are on iTunes. Again, we're on www.chimpknuckles.com is our website. bensound.com. He does our music. He don't know it though. You don't know. You can find us on all of your favorite things. You got Stitcher, Player FM, coming soon to Google Play Music whenever the hell they launch their podcast feature. We're going to be there. We're on all the other podcast things. If you've got a podcast thing, we're sneaking up behind you. Look out. So we are doing this weekly. This is our weekly. Wait, I'm doing the intro now. Fuck. I'm caught. Help! I'm caught in a loop. Help.
All right. First, we're gonna play a quick challenge. Are you ready?
Yes.
Matt's gonna start. Your
Challenge.
suggestion is flashlights. Planes, are you ready?
Wilds.
Again.
Challenge. Help.
Yes.
I need help.
Not enough help. Clearly. Sit down.
Ah. Okay. Well, that was fun. Yeah. So that was it. I think we'll end it on that. I
Yay!
think that'll be the end. Well, the gong will be the end of the episode.
Sounded by bensound.com. You don't know it? Is the best slogan for someone's website advertising.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm trying to keep this one thrifty. I think we only did
Brave,
4
clean,
games
and
that time.
reverent.
Exactly. I think we only did 4 games. Try to keep it somewhat shorter. See how that goes. See if a faster pace, faster clip does as well. I like the game show intro. Actually, let me stop the broadcast before I put more shit on here we don't need.